Okay, so we are continuing with the Holy Sefer Kedushas Levi, Parshat Emor. Emor is it starts with the parsha of Kohanim, and talks about the different laws of the priests of the Jewish people, and then it goes on to the Chagim. So that's why he's going to talk about Sfiras Omer, and which is always very time every single year. So the parsha of Sfiras Omer actually falls out in Sfiras Omer, which is nice. Like Hashem worked it out like that. So he's gonna talk about the mitzvah of Sfiras Omer, which is in this week's parsha, because really all the chagim are in this week's parsha. So it starts with the parsha of Kohanim, but the word Emor means to talk. So the Torah says Emor ala Kohanim b'nei Aaron v'nefesh lo yitama b'yamav, that you should say to the Kohanim, the sons of Aaron, that they shouldn't become impure to a dead body. Okay? That's a foremost mitzvah of Kohanim, is that they're not allowed to go to cemeteries, they're not allowed to come in contact in any way. That's why even like in a hospital, they have to be aware. They have to be aware if there's any dead body in the hospital, then they can't come in. That's of course it's pikuach nefesh, but one of the biggest, the foremost mitzvah. It's really the most relevant prohibition that Kohanim have, and they also have in terms of who they can marry. But the only thing that's like constantly on them is the fact that they can't go to cemeteries. That they have to be very careful about this. So what the Rebbe Levi wants to know is the why as that more than any other mitzvah. So when it comes to this parsha of Kohanim, so it says Emor ala Kohanim. Okay, it never uses this terminology. That usually just says like speak to them. Like the Emor is more. It makes more of an issue of the fact that it's about the fact that it's a communication, and not just that I'm telling you what I want you to tell them. So he says like this: when the Torah says that there's a mitzvah on the Kohanim not to come in contact with a dead body, so really what the Torah is saying is the Kohanim have to be extremely, extremely alive. That they have to be more alive than a regular person. Okay, there's certain. They have to be bubbling. They have to be just like super, super conscious. That's super present and super everything. Like their existence is on a higher level, and that's what a kohen is supposed to be. And so that's what it means when it says that they have to separate from dead bodies. When it says that they have to separate from anything which is not alive, but that's another way of hinting to the fact that you have to be extremely alive. Okay, and he says like this: that this being alive exists on 4 levels, because there's 4 Kabbalistic worlds. Okay? There's our present world, the lowest world, which is called the world of Asiya, and above that there's the world of Yetzirah. Above that there's the world of Bria, and above that there's the world of Atzilut. Okay, so he says that how do we connect with these different worlds? So Asiya is the world of actions. Yetzirah is the world of speech. Bria is the world of thought, and Atzilut. So Atzilut is the world of Yirah, of Yirah Shemayim, of awe of God, fear of God. So what is Atzilut? Atzilut is the world of divinity. Atzilut is the world that there is nothing besides Hashem. So the way that we connect with the world of Atzilut is through Yirah. That when we're B'Yirah, so then we negate ourselves and we're very shalom. So when we're in the world of Yirah, so then that's where we're negated to Hashem, and we're able to connect to God through like in really the deepest way. Okay, so come closer. There's more food here. So when it says Hashem is telling the Kohanim that you have to separate from dead bodies, so really what the Torah is telling them is that you have to be extremely alive. You have to be extremely alive. So what do I mean you have to be extremely alive? In every level of existence, in every level of being a Jew, so you have to be alive. So what's that mean? So obviously, on the physical level, you have to be alive. Your physical body has to be very alive. Okay, no being dead, no being dead. So there's a story with I forgot who it was. Maybe it was. I think it was of Shmuel in Nikolsburg, that he was the brother of the Hafla, and they were once they once slept a little bit too much. Then he was like upset at himself for sleeping too much, and he said something like that. I'll have time to sleep. I'll have time to sleep after my Esrim. Like when I die, then I'll have time to sleep. Right now, I don't want to. No, it's really when we're really excited about life, so we sleep less. No, it's a real thing. Say about Napoleon that he didn't like to sleep because when he's asleep, he's not Napoleon. He's not. So when you're so the first level, the asiya level of being alive is just practically, but even practically, even in the physical. So it like, first of all, Judaism is very against dying, right? Yesterday's parsha, it says sheyasa esam ha'adam v'chai b'hem. The Torah is a way of life. It's a way of life. That we learn v'chai b'hem. That v'chai b'hem we learn that pikuach nefesh is derech the entire Torah. That whenever any mitzvah comes in conflict with a human life, so then everything except for 3 cardinal affairs, everything is put on hold. That there's no Shabbos, there's no kosher, there's no anything. So that there's no stealing. That whatever you need to do to keep a person alive, we do. Right? So the entire tachlis of doing mitzvahs is in order to be able to live. Right? So if it's going to take away your life, so then there's no room for Torah. Okay? So that's v'chai b'hem. V'chai b'hem, we're certainly into being alive. Okay, it's a horrible thing for a person to take their own life as a shekel chavera, and a person has to be healthy. A person has to care for their health. A person has to do whatever it takes to have the right vessel, to have the right kli for his neshama, and the truth is that you're able to live a fuller life when your body is when you have a bigger vessel, right? When you're what do you mean? Oh yes, figuratively, yes. Person with a bigger physical vessel has a smaller figurative vessel.
It's harder to function when you're bigger.
Yeah.
I used to be bigger, and I see the difference.
Yes. So the more that we take care of our bodies, so the more energy we have. So the more energy you have, so then the more Torah you have, the more mitzvahs you have, the more kedusha you have. So it's really there's a deep connection between living on a simple level, but living on a physical level, and living on a spiritual level. Okay, so first of all, you have to be alive in the world of Asiya. Okay, that's just being very, very, like, taking care of your body and taking care of your being here. Above that is Yitzira. So he says, what's it mean? What's it mean to be alive in the world of Yitzira? She says, Yesh b'china sha'adam medaber davar hevel z'nikra hepech. That when a person is talking shtuyot, when a person is talking nonsense, when a person is wasting time, so then his world of Yitzira is dead. His existence on the plane, it's a little called, right? It's a little called. So his existence on the level of Yitzira is dead when he's wasting his speech. Okay? So a person could make his speech alive. A person could make his speech dead. Okay? How do you make your speech alive? When you're using your speech for live things, so then your speech is alive. When you're using your speech for dead things, so then your speech is dead. Okay? So a person could be. Do you ever hear this concept that a person has a certain amount of words that he's like allotted You have to be careful. You have to be careful how much you like, not to waste your. You ever heard this? No. I don't know. I don't know where it's from, but I also don't know how reliable it is. But like there's this idea that like not to waste your words, because a person is allotted a certain amount of words, and then like after that you're finished. So for sure that's only dead words. That this concept that you run out of words, that's for sure only dead words. But if you're speaking live words, so that the more words you speak, the more alive you are, the more words you get, right? That when a person is using their words to build, so then the world of speech is alive. Okay, so the level above the physical reality, the physical existence, is the level of communication. Okay, so I can then in I have a certain existence of communication, and it doesn't only include the speech with my lips. This is also anything that I post, anything that is social media, anything that I write, anything that all my communication, all my communication. That is the world of Yetzirah. Okay. Now above that, being a more subtle level of existence, is the world of Bria. The world of Bria is the world of Machshava, the world of thought. So he says that the same way that by speech you can have live words, live communication and dead communication, so you can have live thoughts and dead thoughts. Okay, so a person that's using his thoughts for creative things, using his thoughts for holy things, for meaningful things, so then his world of thought, his existence on the level of thought is alive. The person that's using his thought for messed up things, so then his thought is dead. His existence on the level of thought, meaning that a person exists on the level of what he does. A person exists on the level of how he communicates with the world, and then he also has the level of existence before I say anything, before I do anything. Just what are my thoughts? What are my values? What am I? So that's the level of existence. And so how do I exist on that plane of just my thoughts? So when I think right things, when I think proper things, when I think real things, so then my existence on the level of Bria is alive. When I'm thinking stupid things, when I'm thinking silly things, when I'm thinking waste of time things, so then my existence on the level of Bria is dead. Okay? And then higher than the level of thought is the level of yirah. Okay, it's the level of how much am I really living in awe of Hashem. This is something that actually we spoke about today in the way that we're talking about ego. We're talking about gaiva, and how gaiva is actually a bigger avera. It's a more central, more essential avera than anything else you could do, because the most basic thing in Judaism, I mean, to be honest, this is the most basic thing in any religion, but all the religions are just copies of Judaism, as we know from the Dalai Lama told somebody that all the religions are copies of Judaism. So that, it's an introduction to letters to a Buddhist Jew. So the most basic, most fundamental teaching that Judaism has is that a secular mindset is that I'm here for myself. And then the Torah comes and says that, hold on a second, that you're actually not here for yourself. I have a secret to tell you, that you're put here with a purpose. You're put here with a mission, and you're not here get out of this fantasy that you're here just to enjoy yourself. It's whoever told you that was lying, and you're actually here for a higher purpose. Okay, and that knowledge, and that knowledge is that's the secret to satisfaction. That's the secret to leading a happy life. Because the people that think that I'm here really just to have a good time, it backfires. Eventually they realize that it doesn't work. That I'm famous and I'm rich and I have all the spas and all and all the concerts and all the beach and all the parties and all the drugs and all the whatever I'm looking for. After I do all of it, I just feel empty. Okay, so that's the most basic thing in Judaism is that I'm not here for myself. I'm here for a higher cause. Okay, and so I shared them a story with Rebbe that there was a big tzaddik that came to him, David Milalov. Okay, so David Milalov. So when he came to Rebbe Melech, so he was a huge tzaddik, and he had learned Torah tremendously his entire life, and he'd been doing tshuva. He'd been trying to rectify himself and to cleanse himself spiritually, and he'd been fasting, and he'd been trying to cause himself all these different discomforts, and trying to be able to cleanse his soul from anything that might have in any way contaminated in the smallest, and he'd been doing this for 14 years. And he wanted to. Then he heard that Rebbe Melech was a big tzaddik. So he wants to come to Rebbe Melech, and so he comes to Lezhensk, and he comes into the Rebbe, and as soon as he sees Rebbe David, so he's like extremely unwelcoming to him. He says, "Get out of here! Who do you think you are? How dare you come into Beis Finish? You stink! You have disgusting smell to you. Get away from here! Don't come back!" And so he's broken, and so like he feels like just so like crushed, and so like he's dizzy, like what would he do? Like I just traveled for a week to get here, like, what the heck? And so he doesn't want to like pack his bags yet. He doesn't want to like to actually leave. So he's just like still in this daze, and he figures like, hey, I'll try to listen from behind the window, and try to see what's going on, at least to get something. And so Rebbe Lach is telling his Chassidim that sometimes people come to me, and they've been learning Torah for their entire lives. They've already learned the entire Shas, the entire Zohar, and the entire Kabbalah, and they think that they're a big tzaddik, and they do big tshuva, and they do fasting, and they do different causing themselves in discomfort, and they think that because they've done 14 years of tshuva, so now they just don't understand, why haven't I gotten Ruach HaKodesh yet? Why haven't I gotten divine inspiration? And they think that, I'll come to a Melech for that finishing touch, that finally, that I have to come to a Melech, that he'll teach me how to have Ruach HaKodesh. And they don't realize that you're rotten to the core. You haven't even started being a Jew yet. Everything you've been doing for your own pride. Everything you've been doing, every line of the Gemara, every tshuva you've been doing is because, whoa, I'm so awesome. I have to, and he doesn't realize that like you have to start from scratch. And so when David Melech heard this, so he realized that Rebbe Melech saw all of this. The moment that he walked into the Beis Medrash, the moment that they met him, that he saw all of this with his Ruach HaKodesh, and he realized that it's so true, and he has to really start from scratch, and he realized that his entire Avodas Hashem was really a self-service, and he just started crying. And so Rebbe Melech knew that he was there with his Ruach HaKodesh. So after he finished the shir, so he ran out, and he saw Rebbe David, and he gave him a big hug. And his Chassidim said, Rebbe, this is the guy that you said to get out and never come back. He said, no, this is somebody brand new. This is not the same person that I told to go away. So that's the koach of gaiva. Gaiva is the greatest thing that keeps us away from being coming close to Hashem, because it's the most basic thing in Judaism. Is that what am I here for? Am I here to serve myself, or am I here to serve a higher cause? Right? So you can actually be following every halacha in the book and every stringency in the book, and you can be fasting from today till tomorrow and think that you're a big tzaddik. And the truth is that all of your fasting is all because you're serving yourself, because you want to feel like such a big tzaddik. And you have another person that he's going against the entire Torah, but really he's really living for Hashem. Okay, so that's why the most basic thing, this is what it means yira. This is true yira. True fear of Hashem. A person who's truly God-fearing means that I'm actually living my life for a higher cause, okay, for a higher purpose. So that's the level of atzilus. Okay, that's in the levels of my existence, the level of my soul, so to speak. So we said that the first thing is my actions. is my physical existence, then my speech, my communication, then my thought, my values, my consciousness, and then my mindset. The yira is my mindset. Okay, that's the most basic. That's corresponding to the Olam HaAtzilus. Okay, so that's what it means that my Atzilus has to be alive. Okay, so this is what it means when it says L'nefesh le'yitama bi'amav. When Hashem is telling the Kohanim that you have to be very alive, so what he really means is that you have to be alive in the four worlds, in the four levels of existence. So what it means? Emor ala Kohanim. Why does it say Emor ala Kohanim b'nei Aaron? So he says that everything is dependent on dibur. That the introduction to this mitzvah, that you have to be very alive. So the introduction is Emor ala Kohanim. Tell them that you want to know how do I start? Start with my communication. Start with my speech. Okay? If you the way that you speak is going to affect your actions, it's going to affect also backwards. It's going to affect your mindset. It's going to affect your what you call it. It's going to affect your thoughts. And this is a very beautiful secret, a secret of existence that it says that what's his name says that David HaMelech says that Hamanti ki adaber, that I had emunah as I spoke. That my emunah was caused by my speech. Meaning that if a person has good speech, a person talks positive things, so then it's going to affect the way you think. Okay? Not only is it going to affect is the way you talk going to affect the way you act, which obviously that everybody understands, but it also affects the way you think. Okay, and this is the idea of what's it called? Talking to yourself. That giving yourself a pep talk. That when I make a plan, when I decide what am I going to do today, to make a mantra of affirmations of what kind of person I want to be. So just by speaking it out with my lips and hearing it with my ears, so these words make a reality. Okay, so this is what it means that Hakol Tali B'Dibar. That it starts with Emor al Kohanim, because the Torah is teaching us that if you want to know where to start, I'm just dead. I'm just completely dead from beginning to end. I'm dead with my mindset. I'm dead with my speech. I'm dead with my thoughts. I'm dead with my actions. I'm all dead. So how should I start? How should I become alive? How should I become alive? The way to start becoming alive. The way to start being alive. You're alive or dead? If you're not sure, so start with speak. Starts with having very live speech. Okay, so that's if you talk to yourself in a live way. Okay, if I'm meaning that I'm elevating my speech. Okay, I'm talking productive talks. Okay, I'm trying to stay away from dead talk. That my communication should be meaningful. Okay, that the more that I can make my communications meaningful, the more that not only am I making is it going to affect all of my actions are going to be meaningful, but it's even going to affect that my thoughts are going to be meaningful. I'm going to be able to fix myself, to heal myself from the inside. Okay, this is why the telling myself, it's telling myself that I am a tzaddik, I am successful, I am creative, that I can do this. I can do this. The more that I tell myself, literally tell myself that I can do this, I'm going to make it happen, so then it's going to happen. Okay? It's going to heal me on the inside. It's going to create my reality from the inside, from the dibur to the machshava to the mindset. Okay? And this is the way that I actually heal myself in the deepest way, through the dibur. Okay? And that's this Parshat Emor. This is the first secret. The first secret that the Berdichever wants us to know. Parshat Emor. Why is the Torah start with Emor? Why does it start with speaking? Because in the L'nefesh le'yitama bi'amav, that when we're trying to be very, very alive, so the key to being very alive is having live speech. Okay, and this is what it means to make sure that all of our communications, all the things that we express, and this is something that I think there's parts of the world, there's parts of us that want us to feel that I have to be honest. I have to be if I'm just feeling down on the inside, so I need to just let everybody know that I'm really down. I I don't want to be deceptive. I don't want to be dishonest. I have to let everybody know that I'm down. I have to share my bad vibes, and because like to share good vibes when I'm really down, that's being fake, and the Berdichever is saying that no, it's not being fake. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay, if you the Riyadh said Shacht good, Vetzain good, so the Berdichever is saying that red good as Shacht good. If you want to know how to think good, so the way to think good is to talk good. Okay, if you talk good, if you talk alive, so it's going to heal your thought process. Okay, and that's and then it'll be good. Yeah, we have no idea. The koach of dibur. The koach of dibur is so amazing. The koach of being able to create a reality, create a reality with our speech. It's incredible. It's incredible how we're able to change things.
It's between the machshava and the mindset. So to bring it in from spirituality into the physical world, this is like the bridge.
Wow, the Gami. We talked about this once, right? Because it says that the definition of life. So the Targum Onkelos says that nefesh chaya, ruach memalala. Right? That when it says that Hashem created man to be alive, a living soul, so the Targum Onkelos says that a speaking soul. So why is speech the definition of life? Because what's it mean to be alive? What's it mean to be alive? To be alive is that when your body and your soul are connected. Right? When a person quote unquote dies, so it's not that they stop existing. Their body is still their body, their soul is still their soul. It's just that they're separate. They go their separate ways. So we still exist after we die. It's just we're dead. Yeah? Right? So what's it mean to be alive? It doesn't mean to exist. It means to be alive means that our body and our souls are connected. Right? Okay. So now speech is where our bodies and our cells connect. Because when we speak, this is the way that we're able to express in a physical way what's in our soul. Okay, that's the beat of communication. Okay, when you're communicating, what are we communicating? We're not communicating anything from our body. We're like real live communication. Maybe this is like I think that this is really what you're saying is really a deeper understanding of what he's saying, of what he means by a live dibur and a dead dibur. A live dibur is that when I'm expressing something from my soul. A dead dibur is that, hey, I think the potato chips last week were a little bit better. I think that's a dead dibur. When my speech is expressing something about my body, so then you don't need speech for that. That's just your body. You know, the conversation would have been just fine without it. No, there are exceptions, by the way. There are exceptions. You know that Rebbe Salanter said that deiner Gashmias is meine Ruchnias. That your materialistic needs are my spiritual needs. Meaning that for me, that the more that I want to give you the best regalach in Yerushalayim, so that because I care about you so much, so I'm going to go on a tasting tour to all the different regalach stores. Yeah, this is the one. Go for it. So I'm going to go on a tasting tour of all the regalach in Yerushalayim in order that you poor things should have the best, because you deserve the best regalach. So I could be going with a friend that I tell them, hey, you want to go on a tasting tour for regalach, and he says, yeah, I love regalach, and so for him he's touring all the different stores, and he's just enjoying his regalach, whereas for me, I'm not thinking about myself, I'm really thinking about you. So So your Gashmias is my Ruchnias. It's my spirituality. Is because I'm doing it from a place of so it depends. It could be that when you're talking about the potato chips, it's really okay. But I think that's really what he means. A live dibur is a dibur that's really coming from my soul, and that's why it's alive, because it's connecting my body with my soul. A dead dibur is a communication that doesn't connect my body with my body with my soul, because it's just my body. So there's no soul. So it's dead. Okay. So this is the secret. This is the secret of Emor Elakanim. Okay. And as always, I thought that was going to take us only 5 minutes. But okay, so he continues. He continues that it says Emor Elakanim b'nei Aharon. Emor Elakanim b'nei Aharon. So he says, why does he start with this instruction? B'nei Aharon. Tell the Kohanim, tell the priests, the sons of Aaron. Okay, so this is something that he speaks about Kohanim, but we're Mamlechat Kohanim. Every Jew is we are a nation of priests. So we are everything for a Kohen is really relevant. It's really relevant to us. So he says that this parsha of Kohanim is really saying that the Kohanim. Anybody here Kohanim? What? No. Did you say? But your family is Kohanim, right? Okay. So the halacha of Kohanim, this parsha of Kohanim. So it's Hashem is telling them that you're very, very special. You're very, very special, and therefore you have special privileges, and therefore you have certain responsibilities. You have things that you're obligated to do. You have to have a special. You're the only ones that are able to do services in the Beis Hamikdash. You're the only ones that when everybody that takes truma has to give it to the Kohanim. All the different Hafresh Challah is supposed to go to the Kohen. Like nowadays we don't because they aren't pure. But like there's 24 things that go presents that go to the Kohanim, and so. And they also have special prohibitions. They have things that they have to be very careful about, and so Moshe Rabbeinu was concerned. Hashem was concerned that I'm about to tell you how special you are, and it could get to their heads. It could get to their heads. After I'm telling you how special you are, telling you that you're royal, that you have to be very, very careful. So I'm telling you that you're different. When I'm telling you that you're different, so it might bring you to be arrogant. Okay, what do I mean to be arrogant? It might. If I'm telling you that you're different than everybody else, so it's very possible that you're going to start thinking that I'm better than everyone else, right? And that will cause me to start speaking to other people in a condescending manner, and to think that I'm really worth more than they are, because think about it. Obviously I've just got something that you haven't got, because look at me. I have these special rules because I have Kedusha. I'm a kohen. Give me honor. And so it could very easily bring me to a place that I'm going to look at everybody else in a condescending way. Okay, so that's what he says like this: that the be'emes lo shayach sheyitnasei adam ela b'davar shu ama v'tarach v'yaga atzmo. Ma she'en ken davar shelo ama ba kegon yichus avosav lo shayach b'zeh his nasus ki b'menach shavu. That the only thing that actually makes sense for a person to be proud of is something that he worked for. But something that just comes to you, so nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with you. It's just something that you just got because you were born into it, but you have no right to be proud of it. It was just given to you. So the reason why the Torah starts with this introduction is B'nai Aaron. Tell them that that there's actually nothing special about you. That the reason why you have these special rules, it's really it's really not because you did anything. It's really not because you're better. It's simply because you were lucky. You're born into a good family. Okay, and that's something that's very relevant for every Jew. That every Jew is this mamlachas kohen. We're born into this. We're born into this club we become this nation that has certain privileges. We have certain rules. We have pros and cons. We have to put on tefillin and keep Shabbos, Shomer Negiah, but we get to around the world. We got to we're the ones that actually bring the world to its tikkun. We're the ones to we're being recorded, huh? So YouTube has banned your channel now. So
no, maybe somebody will cut it and they will present it on some websites. This is one of the classes of the.
They're not going to cut. They're not going to publicize me because I laugh too much. The only they like the ones, the people that can say it with a straight face. That what?
This they will cut.
What?
Can't do it.
Can't do it. Yeah. Anyway, so a Jew. We have a special mission. We have a mission to fix the world in the deepest way. So a person could say, yeah, I have the biggest mission, and it can get to our heads, and we could start looking down at non-Jews and thinking that you're just a dirty guy, and the Torah is telling us that the truth is that over here he's talking about kohanim. The truth is that Hashem makes it crystal clear. He makes it crystal clear that over here it's like you have to look in Kedushas Levi. That by Jews, so the Torah says itself, Parshat V'schanan, Loi merubchem mikol ha'amim chashak Hashem Elokechem b'chem v'yivcher b'chem ki atem hama'at mikol ha'goyim. That it's not because you're so good. You're actually the lowest. You're actually the lowest. Chazal say what's the meaning of atem hama'at? That you actually you know how to make yourselves low. Okay, I mean, being low is also a talent. That's something special, It is. It's an important talent. It's because of that talent. That's why Hashem loves us. Okay, because what? Mamash.
You're saying we're lower than anyone else?
We're awesome at being lower. Hashem shows us because we're awesome at being low. Okay, it's not because we're smarter. It's not because we're more talented. Not because we have that. It's not like when we're talking about what's it mean whether it's chosen nation. So people to think Jews are awesome. Jews are absolutely awesome, and it's true that it's amazing how many Nobel Prizes we've won and how many in the Ivy League schools we've gotten into. There is something to be said for that. But Hashem wants us to know that it's not because we have good DNA that Hashem chose us. That if it became a good DNA, it's because Hashem chose us that we have a good DNA. It says that Hashem, the reason why He chose you is not because you have a good DNA. It's because He liked your parents. Okay, He liked your grandparents. So they were good. They were loyal. Avim, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. So they were where it's at. They were mamish. They didn't betray Hashem. They didn't disappoint Him. And so Hashem said, okay, I'm going to make a deal that your kids are going to be my guys. Okay, but when you're it's already 300 generations later, it's really nobody should think that it's because of me that I'm so special. It's that I was lucky enough to be born into the right family, but it's really that it's not about me. It's not about me. So this is that the prerequisite for having these higher standards, prerequisite for the kohen to be able to live on this higher level of existence with these higher rules, with this higher, with this higher cut, higher bar. So he's only welcome to be living on this higher bar once he understands that it's not about me. It's simply that it's a present that Hashem gave me because He has a bigger mission for me. Okay, so I certainly have no right to look down on anybody else. If anything, I should just feel like it should make me more humble. That wow, I've heard of survivor's guilt. Like it makes them feel guilty that like people that survived the Holocaust or any tragedy, that they feel so inadequate that I was given this mission to live, and it makes them feel smaller, right? So that's the way Hashem wants us to look at our mission. Hashem wants us to feel that the fact that I have this mission, it was just given to me, it was just sent to me, so it should make us feel, wow, I so don't deserve this, and so it should make us feel even more humble. Okay, so that's the only way, the only kedusha, the only way that it's okay to go into this higher level of existence is only once you understand. It's only once you understand that it's really not about you. Okay. Okay. Then the next idea, the next message that Rebbe Yitzchak has for us is there's a pasuk about the daughter of a kohen. Okay, this is for you. That it says that the daughter of a kohen, so she has a special halacha that actually it's not for you. It's about a daughter of a kohen that cheats on her husband. So sorry. What?
The husband is a kohen?
No, it doesn't matter. So it says that the daughter of a kohen, the daughter of a kohen. So when she cheats on her husband, it's considered a worse affair. It's a worse sin. It's a worse disgrace when the daughter of a kohen cheats on her husband than if a non-kohen. So, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference in the kind of punishment. The kind of punishment that for a regular girl that cheats on her husband, so I think it's death by strangulation, and why is that funny?
That's not so bad. Okay.
It's not so bad. But by the daughter of a kohen, so it's death by burning. By streifa, okay? That's considered the worst. It's considered, okay. By the way, when the Torah talks about burning, so it actually doesn't mean burning at the stake. It actually means burning on the insides, whatever. They have like this molten lava that we pour down the throats. Finally, okay. You came.
Like they first kill.
You came for the good stuff. We're pouring molten lava down girls' throats. Okay. Yeah. What? Crimes. Yeah.
1 second. So she was burnt
What?
after death.
Yeah.
She's burnt after death?
No, that's how she does. Okay.
Oh, they burn her alive?
The daughter of a kohen that was married.
That's very bad. You cannot kill animal alive and you can burn a woman. No, it's really bad.
Yeah. So.
Well, I don't understand how can you have mercy on animal and no mercy on woman.
Yeah.
And then when it's also
first I have to understand what it means to kill somebody alive. But yeah. So he says that really what the Torah is telling us over here is something much deeper. Okay? Because it says, why is it that we're more strict on the daughter of a kohen? Okay? So it says et avia hi mechalalet, that because she's also, besides what she's doing, she's also disgracing her father. She's disgracing the fact that she's part of this special team. She's part of this special club, of the Kohanim club, and she's disgracing the Kohanim. Now we're talking about that. I was talking about this with somebody else recently. That it says that there's something very. It says very severe things about a person who's mevazeh tamid chacham, a person who disgraces a Torah sage. So it says that a person who's mevazeh tamid chacham, like enu chelak le'olam haba, doesn't have a share in the world to come. So it's a very strange thing. Like, okay, I get it. You're not supposed to disgrace anybody, and I get it. You're supposed to show respect to rabbis, but come on, enu chelak le'olam haba. That's it's a little bit intense, right? So Rebbe Yonah in Shari Tshuva, so he says that why is it so severe? Why is it so severe to mevaz the Talmid Chacham? Because the Talmid Chacham, he represents the hero. He represents what we all aspire to be. He represents what the world looks up to. Okay, so so before you were mevaz the Talmid Chacham, so then the Talmid Chacham, he represented this image that I want to be like that. It could be that I'm not really keeping a full Shabbos, but like when I see him keeping Shabbos, I just like, wow, one day. It could be that I don't really know how to daven, but when I see him davening, I say, wow, that's such a connection. I wish I could be like that. When I see the way he treats everybody, when I see the way that he keeps calm, when I see the way that he's kind, so then like it's something that I look up to. It's something that I idealize. It's something that it forms my desires. Okay, and that's the way that having the tzaddikim around, so it allows us to be able to want to be better. It wants us to, because it's this image of something to work towards. And so the person who's mevaz the Talmid Chacham, when I make fun of the Talmid Chacham, so it's not just that I just paint him, and it's not just that I didn't show him respect, but actually I messed up the entire society's image of what do I aspire to. Okay, until now, so there was somebody like this Talmid Chacham was somebody that inspired everybody and made everybody looked to him. So it made them want to be better. But now, since I made these jokes about how his his something is missing a button, or is something like really weird about his ears, or so now when everybody sees him, so they focus on that. They focus on that, and this example, this ability to inspire the world is no longer here, and that's why it's so severe. So that's what it means. It's not just what she did for herself. That she messed up the entire concept of kohanim. That there's this elevated people, and that when she's disgracing that, that's what kohanim do. The kohanim, you think they're so holy? Look what that girl did. They're the dirtiest of all. And so, okay, so that's what it means on Parshat. Okay, so now the Levi Yitzchak, so he wants to explain this on a spiritual level. So he says that what's it mean? What's it mean? He says, Kisha Adam chote chas v'shalom os pagam lemala v'noten koach laklipot. Okay, when a person sins, so he has to understand that it's not just what I did here and now, that it makes a pagam lemala. It actually affects the higher spiritual worlds, and it gives koach to the negative energy in the world. Okay, the meaning that we have to be aware of the fact that there is a constant battle going on. There's this cosmic battle between the forces of good and the forces of evil. And every time that I do a good act, I do a holy act, so I'm giving energy to the forces of holiness in the world. Okay, there's a certain buzz, a certain holy buzz that's going around, a certain holy vibe, okay, that's going around as a result of my positive act. This is you ever heard a midrash that says every time you do a mitzvah, it makes a good angel? Okay, so I know, when I was a kid, when I heard this, I thought there was every time I give tzedakah, then it was boop, and he's with his cute with wings, and he's he's smiling at me, and every time that you do a sin, so then has this red guy with horns, and so it's it's not what it means. It's not what it means. What it means is that when you do a mitzvah, you make good vibes. You make good energies in the world. Okay, you're filling the world with these positive energies. When you do an avera chas v'shalom, you're filling the world with negative energies. Okay, so that's what it means. That it's a pagam lemala. You mess up the higher worlds, and v'noten koach laklipot, and you give energy to the dark side. Okay, to the negative energies of the world. So that's the person has to know. That there's much more than meets the eye to everything that we do in this world. Okay, that everything we do, whether it's good or bad, so we're at the v'ahi mechalel. When I'm doing good, I'm making good on the higher worlds. when I'm doing bad, I'm doing bad in the lower worlds. This is something special about a kohen. There's something special about a Jew. There's something what's unique about a Jew. This is taught from the Nefesh HaChaim, from the Chaim Voloshin, at the son of the Talmud of the Vilna Gaon. He says that what's unique about a Jew is that a Jew's soul is connected to the higher worlds. So therefore, when a Jew does something holy, so he makes amazing building in all of the worlds, in all of the levels of reality. And the same thing, Chas v'Shalom, when he does something wrong. So he's wreaking havoc in the spiritual world. Whereas a non-Jew doesn't have this connection. He doesn't have this, that their soul is very limited.
I thought we were lower.
No, that was just from our DNA. That after Hashem picks us, then we have this potential to do more. Then our souls is so connected. So he says. So he writes that the pagam that a Jew does with even the smallest sin is so much greater, so much more horrible than what a guy could do even with the worst sin. He says, for example, that it says that when Nebuchadnezzar, when he destroyed the first temple, so maybe it's Titus, maybe I'm mixing up, maybe it's the story about the second temple, I think it was Titus. The Titus, when he destroyed the second temple, so he wanted to disgrace Hashem, so he took a prostitute, and he took a Torah scroll, and he went into the Holy of Holies, and he slept with this prostitute on the Sefer Torah in the Holy of Holies. Okay, so
really cared about that. Wow.
Yeah, he wanted to make a statement. Yeah.
Wow.
So Nefesh HaChaim writes that when a Jew has a thought, has an improper thought, when a Jew has a thought of like being with somebody that he's not supposed to be with, so that's the mere fact that I thought of having something which is against Hashem's will, that's affecting his soul, and his soul is connected to the higher world, and it actually wreaks more havoc in the spiritual world when you even have the smallest thought of going against Hashem than what Nebuchadnezzar did with his actual avera, because everything he can do, he can only affect the here and now. That Titus can only affect the Olam Hasiyah. His soul is not connected to anything higher. So a kohen needs to know, a Jew needs to know, a person at a higher level needs to know that kisecha liznos, when you're doing anything wrong, es taviyahim achalalos. You have to know that it's not just what you're doing in the physical world, that you're doing way more in the higher worlds. Okay? So he says, what's the tikkun? So what do I do? How do I fix it? How do I fix it? So ba'esh tisaref. The secret is, the remedy is with fire. Which fire? The fire of Aidei hitlahavut shemitlahev achakach la'avodas Hashem. That when you become fiery, when you become on fire with passion to Hashem, so that's the only way to undo this klipa. Okay, the way to heal the klipa is you need the fire, you need the passion. The only thing that can, we have this, like, think about it, we have no idea, like we have no idea like how many destructions we've made. So the only way to undo this destruction is to heal it in the source. Okay, what's the only way to heal it in the source? That to become fiery, and he's saying that when we become fiery, so we fix it from where it comes from. Sometimes you can heal the symptom. Sometimes you can take care of the symptom, and sometimes you heal it in the source. You hear the actual where the ailment is coming from. Right? That's like, so if the symptom is something so great, like I have no idea. I don't have a Band-Aid that can fix the fact that I destroyed these heavenly worlds, that I gave koach to the klippas. So what do? The only way to do it is to take away their life source. How do I take away their life source? So he's telling us the secret of being passionate about Judaism. That when a person is passionate, when a person is living Torah, not just in a superficial way, when a person is learning Torah, not just because that's what I'm supposed to do, when I'm on fire about it, when my entire consciousness, when my entire being is fiery about it. What do you mean for a person to be on fire? Fire is alive. Fire is always moving. Fire is always aspiring for more. It's always just it doesn't stop. So when my soul is on fire for Hashem, that means that it's like a fire takes you, right? You don't take it, right? So when your soul is on fire, that it's just your soul is just guiding you towards Hashem. That I'm just like I'm there. Like I can't get enough. Okay, so that's the only way to heal this klipa, to heal this destruction. Okay, because when I'm on fire, so then it actually it's like a chemo. it's like it burns the klipas at the core. Okay, this holy fire. So this is what allows us to really undo this the energy that I gave to the dark side. The only way to heal it is only to burn it from the core. And how do you? What? Hitlavut. Hitlavut. To be excited, to be passionate, to be on fire about Hashem, to be on fire about Judaism. So that's the only way that we can fix it. Okay, so that's what the Torah is telling us over here. Okay, so we didn't get to the Sfeira Emor, but a different time. Yeah. All right, l'chaim, everybody.